come and say something. I wanna hear your voice.
All the eyes on me, all the eyes are all on me. All the eyes on me, all the eyes are all on me. All the eyes on me, all the eyes are all on me. All the eyes on me, all the eyes are all on me.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Mr. Fox, back in the house. And you know what it is. It's my review for Unordinary, Chapter 113, Episode 115, whatever flows shaboat, whatever it gets shabai. And you know how we do this. Quick rundown of last week's chapter, then we jump into this week's chapter. So, kicking off with last week's chapter. Last week, we finally got to learn who the green hair girl is. Her name is Junie. I don't like the name, so I'm gonna stick to calling her green hair Chun-Li. You know how it is. And last week's chapter was straightforward, man. She got beaten down by Tuesday, man. It was her running through the hallways, trying to get away from Tuesday. It wasn't working. Oh, and also we found out what her ability is. Her ability is called Flash Forward, which allows her to see a person attacking her a split second before it actually goes through. So as Tuesday's throwing a punch, she can see which way it's coming, you know, and get out the way. But honestly, it's like when Sasuke fought Rock Lee. It doesn't matter if you can see it, if you can't dodge it. I mean, she dodges most of them. She's pretty light on her feet, surprisingly. But I mean, eventually she does get hit. And honestly, saying hit is putting it lightly. She gets beaten down, like, for real. So, you know, and then in some poetic irony, I don't even know if I can use that word right, but she gets kicked down the steps by Tuesday, just how she pushed Seraphina down the steps, and she turns around and looks at her assailant just like Seraphina looked at her when she got pushed. So after that, she's wobbly, you know, she's dazed, but she manages to get back up and she books it to the cafeteria. And she's waiting, everyone's looking at her like she's crazy, and then Tuesday never walks in, obviously, but John does. But, you know, no one suspects John of anything because he's a cripple. But afterwards, she's like, okay, he must have gotten lost or something, so she hightails it out of there. Meanwhile, after he walks in, he sits down and is just watching her the whole time. But meanwhile, while John is, you know, watching his prey, we get introduced to two new characters. One of them, his name is Heinz. His ability is called Catch Up. I still don't know what that means. I'm assuming speed base, that's it. And then we get introduced to a blue hair girl. Her name is Elaine. Her ability is called Clobberer. Either she's super strong, or I'm hoping like her forearm turns into a billy club and she can, you know, somebody. But that's neither here nor there. So yeah. So then we cut back to Junie. She's running in the hallway. She's like, okay, I got away. No, you didn't. Tuesday catches back up with her and just finishes her off. And it's brutal. It was brutal to the point where I felt bad for her. But then I kind of got over it. I mean, but that's it. I mean, that's the end of the chapter. He leaves her just like he did Zeke. Bloodied and in the hallway, and walks away striking the Michael Myers pose. That's just what it is. So that's last week's chapter. So jumping into this week, I didn't think it was going to happen. I did say it, but we cut back to Arlo. And it's not just Arlo. It's Arlo and this dude named Hold'em. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. But, you know, Hold'em was like, okay, hey Arlo, I've been waiting for you. We need to talk, pretty much. So, and when he wants to talk to Arlo about it, he talks to him about Junie or Chun-Li. I'm gonna say Chun-Li for now and forever. So, if you're watching my channel, let's get used to that. But yeah, he watches. He walks with Arlo and he's talking about what happened to her. He's like, "Did you hear? They found her in the hallway, all bloody. She had to be hospitalized." There's no surprise about that. We figured she had to be hospitalized. But the crazy thing is, Hold'em says that, you know, everyone is suspecting you, Arlo, and to me that's kind of a shock. But when he lays out the facts, like the details of everything, it makes sense. So the reason Arlo is being suspected is for both of these cases is, one, he did have a dispute with Zeke when he caught Zeke beating up John and Seraphina in the hallway, and then, like I said, you had a dispute with Zeke, and then like a few hours later, he's found in the hallway beaten half to death. And then he points out you also had that confrontation with Cecile about publishing that article about Serafina, and the next thing you know, her top writer, well, one of her top reporters, is found beaten, bloodied in the hallway. And I was like, okay, I can see, I kind of see where you're going with that. I can see how you get him, get Arlo out of those conclusions. But still, it didn't jump out to me like straight off the bat. So, and Arlo's looking at Hold'em like, so do you believe these rumors? And he's like, no. He's like, I said, of course I don't believe these rumors, because he's like, you wouldn't beat someone to that extent and just leave. And I agree with that. Arlo will beat you down, with no problems, but he'll only do so to uphold the law inside the school, or not the law, but the hierarchy. That's his thing. He's all about that hierarchy. So, yeah, but he wouldn't just leave. He'd stay there and let them know, like, I did this. This is the reason why, and if you do it too, same thing's gonna happen. And that'd be it. And everyone would be like, oh, okay, we know not to do that no more. But yeah. And then while the whole time Hold'em is telling him this, though, Arlo's just kind of like lost in space. He's really been disconnected with a whole bunch of things been going on. He's been thinking about, Remy and Ray and John and Serafina. And Arlo's quick-witted. He's not stupid. He connects the dots. He's like, he thinks he's like I know who did it. He's thinking to himself. A picture of John with his back turned shows. I'm like, yeah, because John's the only person that would do such a thing, or Tuesday, whatever. So Hold'em does point that. He's like, hey man, you've really been disconnected. Are you all right? And then that's what it ends with them with that scene. And then we cut to Serafina back at the Wellston girls' dorm. She's thinking about the loss of her powers again, but then she thinks about what John showed her in that practice session. She's like he deals with this like on an everyday basis and doesn't complain. And just like, all I've been doing is moping around and complaining. And she's like, I've had enough of that. So she gets up and she strikes the same pose that John showed her, and she envisions an enemy coming at her, and she does the steps, slide, parry, and counter, and she does I guess some other training, but it didn't show that. But meanwhile, while Serafina is doing all of this, we cut to Elaine. We haven't seen her in probably like 5 chapters, I think. But she's doing homework and she hears Serafina and she's like, what is going on? So she goes over there and Serafina opens the door, and she's been putting in work, and mind you, she's looking really good too. She opens the door, she has nothing but a sports bra on and like look like to be some short shorts, which I appreciate. Thank you very much for that scene. Ooh, Serafina looking good. But Serafina opens the door and she's like, oh, Elaine. She's like, come in here and help me practice. And Elaine's like, hold on, wait, oh, what? Too late, and that's where that ends. So I'm assuming, I don't know how long they stayed up, but she forced Elaine to help her practice, and hopefully she probably hasn't mastered it, but I think she'll be able to apply it in combat now. Not reflexively, but it won't take her that long to react. So then we cut back to John and Serafina in school. They do the normal, talk. They're walking and talking to class, and that's when Serafina overhears people talking about what happened to Chun-Li. They're like, man, did you, like Hold'em said, like, man, did you hear? They found another victim in the hallway, all bloody. She had to be hospitalized. And John tells Serafina, like, hey, don't worry about none of that. That's just, crazy rumors. We got enough to worry about and all that. And Serafina's like, we should listen, because what if he comes after me next? She's like, I used to be at the top of at the top. Now I'm at the bottom. She's like, this would be like the perfect opportune time, to come and get me. And she's not wrong. If Tuesday was that type of person, was out for recognition, then yeah. But I mean, that's not what's happening. John reassures her. He's like, don't worry about that. That won't happen. She's like, how can you be sure? And he just, he smiles and he's like, it's just a hunch, which is really funny to me. But I mean, that's pretty much where the chapter ends. I mean, I did make a speculation that what if Serafina didn't lose her ability? What if she just got like a new one she just not activated yet? But I'm not even like 5% sure on that, so we're not even gonna really get into that. But with all that being said, do all that stuff that I normally tell you to do. subscribe, like, comment, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and all that. And with that being said, it's your boy, the Mr. Fox.